Multiple Bulls players breaking out, which is our exact plan the front office had from the start, with Isaac Okoro and Jaylen Smith looking to get more playing time by stepping up big time in training camp to start off this exciting new season. Hey everybody, welcome to Bulls Digest. We have an awesome show for you today. Glad you're here. We're going to break down a lot of stuff today. We're going to break down who's coming off the bench. We're going to break down who's got what. We're going to break down who needs to grow in what specific areas. And then we also got to see who's going to be playing now, who's going to be replacing our starters right when they come off. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm noticing only 67.5% of you are subscribed to our Stop It On By. And you guys will want to subscribe because you guys will want to be up to date on all things Chicago Bulls. And we break them down here every single day. So you guys are in the know. And that's how we roll. So with that, let's get underway. All right. So we got with Jaylen Smith. He's kind of a mixed bag. Let's just call it what it is. Incredibly athletic. Started out with the Pacers, and I think in 2023 really started to develop as a pop and shoot 3-point shooter. So we would like to tap into that. That's the core of what we would tap into while still keeping his defensive skills and rebounding in line. But the key for us is he and Isaac, they're both projects. These guys need to be developed in our system. They were in other systems, and I don't think those systems particularly served them very well at all. If you look, let's take a quick peek. His numbers are so low because his minutes are low. He's only in there for he's 18 minutes or less a game. So you're not seeing a lot. 8 points is just pretty much where you're at, and that's a couple threes and maybe a little tap-in bucket. That's not what we're looking for in this type of a player. It's just not. What we're looking for is somebody who can develop. Billy and his coaching staff need to develop these guys to be the ultimate off the bench, step in and don't lose a step guys. So their development needs to take a quick ratchet up from where their career trajectory has been today. Let's just call it what it is. It's just not enough today. And in today's NBA, if you want someone to be in the system, if you look at both of them, one was in the Pacers system and one was in the Cavs system, and they were not utilizing the way that our system will clearly utilize them. And that, I think, is a sign of optimism for us, no doubt. Well, here's the thing that's interesting about Isaac. Isaac has an athletic package tucked in that I think is pretty on the upside. It's on the upside with our system. If left to his own devices, I think we'll break this down later in the video. But how Cleveland treated him was not exactly right. They were just looking for a guy in a draft pick, and he kind of they grabbed him, but he wasn't the go-to guy, and they just tucked him in the corner and he pumped up threes, and it was like it worked for a bit, but that's not his game. Man, that's putting the person in the wrong position to succeed. And what I'm hoping to see, what I know we can see from this Bulls coaching staff and management is put him in positions to succeed. At a 6'5" frame, he could play three possible positions. He could play a 2, a 3, or in shorter lineups, a 4. And I mean, if we really think about it, this is where it lands. To me, this is where it lands. We got rid of all that clog last season with Levine and Ball and all that stuff. And we had overpaid, bloated contracts of people who didn't fit in our system. Now we've got one paid contract in Giddey, but underpaid guys that need to develop and step up if they want that payday. And to me, I think as a Bulls fan, that's the ideal position to be in. A good example of this would be Cody White. After all that Michigas, after all that stuff gets launched, after all the dead weight gets launched, look at those numbers. Those numbers speak for themselves. It's not quite double, and it's not, that you wouldn't expect double, but I mean, at least you're talking a good solid bump, which means the floor's opening up. The floor's not just stick it, and we're not LeBroning this. Our offense is not LeBron James where you just stick it, post up, and have him do his thing and you do a clear out. That's not what this offense will be at all. And that's actually exciting for Bulls fans because we don't want that offense. We don't have the talent for it. These younger guys, though, if developed properly, I think you're going to see an incredible turnaround. And it's all going to come down to how and what we see in training camp, you guys. In training camp, I want to see if Isaac afterwards is doing a press hit with that or social, and all of a sudden you find out, hey, I'm just starting to get plugged in, and this is really feeling a lot more normal for me. Or let's say Jaylen is like, gosh, I get to do this is the fun stuff where I get to do a Kobe or Giddey slashes the lane, and I get to do a pop out three because this reminds me of 2023, and I'm loving this. So what I'm saying is you're going to see very closely how the coaching staff is going to directly utilize them. And that's going to tell us all we need to know. It's going to tell us the key components. So let's break down some of the numbers. With Isaac, you're looking at the minutes, and those points are way too low. You can't have that. You can't have those low points and those low rebounds. I know he's 6'5". Get in there. Get in there and scrap it up. We need more from our 3, 2, 3, or 4. We just need all of that and more. And I'll tell you right now, it's not that he lacks the height or the ability. He couldn't see the court. So in Cleveland, when he's not on the court, how are you supposed to compete when all you're supposed to do is knock down your open shots? So you hit your open threes. So they only bring you in for threes, but now you're not on the floor when you go cold. So he's got to fit into our system, and in fitting into our system, coming off the bench to give breathers to our 2, 3s, or 4s. That's going to give him ample playing time, but I got to see those numbers. We have to see those numbers boost exponentially. Now, what did Corey Walsh of Cavs SB Nation say about him? Well, this kind of echoes what I was talking about or alluding to earlier. So nothing really changed. This was the start of the trend to where the Cavaliers never actually developed Okoro. So that's Okoro's, they kind of let him down, whereas we need him and our coaches want to develop him. His shooting splits went up on lesser volume and more concentrated locations. The corners, they stuffed him in the corner. Hey, for the Bulls, nobody puts baby in a corner. We're going to make sure he stretches the floor. I want to see some finishing dunks. Hopefully in Chicago, Okoro can be given a proper development path, one that takes advantage of his raw athleticism rather than forcing a square block in a triangle-shaped hole. Well, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty spot on. So that's kind of what I was alluding to. He was misused. They didn't need his game. We deeply need his game because it fits directly into our system. That's what we're looking to accomplish. That's what we're looking to knock through. So if you look at his upside, I think it's strong, but it is solely on the development by the coaches of what kind of player we want to make him. If the coaching staff stays true to their guide and their moral code of their goals, then we're going to see a much better Isaac. That's just what it is. So what about Jaylen? Well, we kind of touched on his numbers earlier, and we know if you're not on the court, you can't score, you can't contribute, and you can't do it. 15 minutes per game is not going to cut it. So as we see injuries and other things, that number has to go up. And I also expect points per game, rebounds, and assists, and blocks. Blocks. I want to see more defense this season, and we have the hustle guys who can get that done. I want to see blocks go up, rebounds go up, a box out as soon as that ball's up in the air. We now have guys who are hungry who will want to accomplish that. So to me, I don't know about you, but to me, these guys have the tools to do it. It's all going to come down to what we're seeing in training camp and what the coaching staff is trying to dial them into. If they're just dialing him to pick and roll instead of pop and three, it's some of the same old, and that's not going to make us happy in the least. I think we can all agree on that. So, what about Jaylen? Well, the biggest key to Smith's early season success, and keep in mind, this is in Indiana, was that he shot the absolute lights out of the ball. Boy, I keep seeing a similar story. You stuff them in the corner, and they do pop-outs, and they shoot tons of threes. He didn't take a ton of attempts, but he knocked down the seemingly open shots from three-point range over the first few months of the season. In 19 games before the New Year's Day, Smith went 22 for 35 from behind the arc, an eye-popping 62.9%. Wow. Okay. You see in the picture? The picture's coming pretty clear. Both underutilized, both demanded to shoot, both in a small sample size shot, and then they got cold. That's not how we intend to use them. Just think of the classic Bulls days. This is Paxton and Kerr. We have the most aggressive, dominant passers and slashers who can draw that defense. As soon as we get into that double or triple team with Kobe or Giddey, kick it out. All you have to do is stay in the gym for another 5 or 6 hours and knock down your open threes. If you can knock them down, we have a hell of a season in front of us, and I'm excited about the possibilities. This is super fun. That's what I think, and that's what I'm seeing. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section because, I'd like to know where you're at. And by the way, I appreciate all the comments every single day. We appreciate it here at Bulls Digest because it's all about that. And before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button because without you, there's no us. And we want to keep you guys up to date on everything under the sun. So that'll do it for now. But thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.